What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another bi-weekly episode of Beyond Us. And we are the Beyond Us team. In case you don't know us, for whatever reason, you're here on episode 15 for the first time. I'm Daniel. I'm joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Brett.
Hi.
And Salo.
Hello.
Brett is half dead to the world. He's very sleepy. He's been working a shift that makes him grumpy. So we'll try and drag him along with us throughout the rest of this. We'll see what we can do.
15 hours.
I'm going to be real. When you started to say that, it sounded like you were going to say it like the guy from SpongeBob. 15 hours
15
later.
hours
Later.
That's how my brain took it. But I digress. How are we all doing? How's everybody's last 2 weeks been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Anything new, Salo? Anything new going on, Salo?
I've been trying to just keep my running up, and it's really hard in the heat. So I've been running really slowly, but I've actually been getting back at it, which is really hard in the heat.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Brett?
Devoid of sleep.
I'm so tired.
So you sent
tired.
so to preface, you sent me a voice message on Snapchat when you were trying to let me know, and you sounded. I've never heard you sound so tired like that. Like again, going back to SpongeBob needing water. Like I cannot. I'm just letting you know I won't be able to make it.
I don't even know what I said. I know I said one thing. I know I told you to talk to Daniel and figure out what y'all wanted to do with the podcast. And then I talked to Daniel the next day, and he's like, "Yeah, no, he never talked to me."
Ooh. I thought I sent a Discord message. I guess I didn't.
No. No, you did not.
There was no conversation in Discord. I'm just like, yo, you guys talked and figured out like what you guys wanted to do, right?
I thought we both said,
like,
we'll
like you never
do
talked
it
to me.
next time tomorrow. We'll figure it out. It's in the works.
No, what happened was I said, all right, I'm cool with flexing to tomorrow, Brett. Just let me know what time you're good for. And Salo sent back a thumbs up.
That's right there. That's basically postponing it for tomorrow's problem.
But then we never solved tomorrow's problem, Salo.
Yo, and then I go into our chat and I message several hours before the initial start time for the podcast. I'm like, hey guys, can we flex 1 hour? Like I was just asking if that was cool with you guys. Silence.
I was asleep. I was asleep. I had just went to bed an hour before that.
We're like, what, 15 minutes before like the start time for the podcast, and I'm just like, yo guys, anybody want to fucking respond? Let me know if you guys are you just doing this yourselves? I
was asleep when you sent that first message because I had just went to bed an hour before that.
So I'm going into my phone and I'm going to Discord and I'm going to enable all notifications. Because I had all of them disabled until just right now. So we're good.
All right.
That explains so much.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does.
This is why every time I've ever messaged you on Discord, I don't get a response for like 2 days. But if I message you on Snapchat, I just randomly get like a
respond immediately.
Just like waving a flag or some shit. Yeah, something.
Picture of coffee every once in a while.
It's your like it's your like Bitmoji just yelling, "Let's go!"
Oh man. Well,
we're working through it together. We'll figure it out.
So nothing new for Salo. Brett's tired. I'm still on the rebound from the Rona. But I'm fine. I feel good for the most part.
Yeah, he got icky.
Yeah. Hey Vicky,
he got
icky.
I was about to say he got hit with the Vicky.
Vicky. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and get started today since we're all kind of trying to feel our way into the groove today because somebody's super sleepy and somebody's still kind of sick and somebody's Salo. Why don't we go ahead and start off with a question? We only got 3 of them, but we can start with one of them.
Perfect.
I suppose.
Okay.
What you got?
All right. So, All right, let's start with a real easy question. I think we'll all be in agreement on this. I hope. Who wins in a fight?
Okay, go on.
Who wins in a fight? The Avengers from the first MCU Avengers movie or the core 7 of the Justice League? I don't even think this is a question. League. It's definitely the Justice League, right?
Justice League.
Like, it's not even close. Salo, don't make that face.
I'm trying
Superman can solo all of them.
Flash can solo all of them.
Fair. Flash, I feel like
it can solo all of them.
I don't know about that.
I think he can with prep time. I think he can disable the entire squad.
Maybe I'm the biggest Batman stan you're gonna find, but
if you just throw him in there, probably
I don't know about Batman against the Hulk. That's the one.
That's my other thing.
That's the one.
The Honestly, Hulk is the only one that concerns
me. I think Batman can like develop something that just neutralizes his gamma radiation.
Maybe if he has enough time, but I'm talking like if you just pop them into a
pop them in. Nah.
Yeah, that's not fair. Like Hulk is on a different level than Bane. But I think any of the other 5 Batman can take down without even a prep time.
I bet Batman could distract the entire squad significantly.
Well, because here's the other thing. Look, when you talk about the core 7 of the Justice League, you get Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and then 3 others. You get to pick those 3. Let's go with Green Lantern.
Manhunter.
Let's go with Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Cyborg. I think he's the new official one.
Yeah, he's become like the new official
or Aquaman. I guess we would probably have to take Martian Manhunter out.
Yeah.
It would be Aquaman, Cyborg, and Green Lantern. Those would be the 3.
My only concern would be Hulk, but I think it would be Justice League.
Well, so here's the thing. My concern wouldn't be Hulk because all Superman has to do is throw him into space.
I think the wild
card would be
Thor, right?
No.
No.
I feel like the Flash would be able to beat him real easy.
Well, Wonder Woman would. Wonder Woman did.
Yeah, Wonder Woman did.
When they did the DC Marvel crossovers, Wonder Woman beat Thor and took Mjolnir.
Really?
She was worthy.
She was worthy. She took it. She's like, this is mine now.
Ooh.
And that's just not even fair. There are 2 people on the Justice League that could just take Mjolnir.
Is Batman one of them?
No. He's not pure of heart. He's too conflicted.
Superman. Okay.
Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
and maybe Cyborg.
Maybe.
Because he's technically not...
Depending on which version, he might be too conflicted.
He might be too robotic for it to register.
Yeah, it's also true.
It's not a human hand picking it up.
Or biological being.
There's no there's no being. It's like it's like the old argument of if an elevator, if you put Mjolnir in an elevator, would the elevator still go up? Elevator's not worthy. Like it's the same argument.
Thor would probably rock Cyborg.
I don't know, because Cyborg's got boom tubes.
But when is a god? I feel like maybe Thor would win.
All right, I feel like we're over-establishing the word god. He is not a god. He's what humans think are gods, because humans are dumb.
He's a magic man to me. All right?
Well, so was Channing
magician.
Tatum.
I was just about to say.
But no, I mean Thor would be a good fight for a few of them. Thor could probably take down Superman because he has magic. And that is Superman's weakness. But that's not how this would pair up. This would pair up Wonder Woman and Thor, Superman and Hulk, Batman and Captain America, and then Flash and the rest.
I can high keys just see like Batman throws a batarang at Iron Man, it sticks, and
it's
Jarvis
an EMP.
Just dies.
It's an EMP, yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
And he's just locked in his suit.
Yeah, I can see that too.
And out of the fight. Just completely out of the fight.
But like I mean, like, Batman's who I would want to see fight Captain America. They're the two faces of the two organizations. They're the clear people that would fight each other. And Batman still stands a chance. Yes, Captain America is a super soldier, but that's no different than him fighting Bane.
Yeah, fair. Because Bane is like a Superman, he's strong man.
Yeah, like with the Venom injections.
Batman lasted with fucking Doomsday, which he shouldn't have.
And Darkseid.
Yeah. And
Batman,
Darkseid. He was
Batman was the first person to ever dodge the Omega Beam. Batman was the first person to ever avoid an Omega Beam. That is canon.
You know what that is, right, Sal?
I'm looking it up right now.
Omega Beams are the lasers that come out of Darkseid's eyes. They're the same as Superman's, except they actually lock on and chase down the person.
Oh shit! Yeah, I've seen this. I've seen this.
Batman canon is the first person to ever dodge an Omega Beam.
Really?
Yes.
Yep.
That's how
and
talented he is.
Like people that move at light speed
have still been got by an Omega Beam. Batman just outsmarted them.
Yep.
Like. Would there be moments in an Avengers versus Justice League fight that would be fun? Sure. If you brought in more Avengers and more Justice Leaguers, it could change the scales.
Yeah, it might change.
But Core 7 versus Core 6 of the MCU Avengers, first of all, the MCU Avengers is an Asgardian, a half Gamma monster, half human, and then 4 humans. Sure, one of them's got super soldier serum, but he's still human. Versus a speedster, an Atlantean, a Kryptonian, an Amazonian, a cyborg, and then a human with the most powerful space ring ever. It's the only man that ever put a ring on and got power from it. And then Batman. Like, this isn't fair.
On Solo's thoughts. Imagine if Genghis Khan joined the fight. How would he fare?
Thank you. That's actually an appropriate representation of the committee of my thoughts.
He'd get rocked. He'd get fucking rocked.
But would he be on the boat, though?
Would he be on the boat?
Would he rock the boat? Would Genghis Khan rock the boat?
No, but he'd rock the gas part.
These are Solo's thoughts.
Thank you. Please, come again. And it exits with, like, elevator music. Anyways.
All right, what's the next question?
All right, let's move on to the next question, because that was a real easy question. All right. Let's get a question that's not as easy, but that Solo's not going to be able to help as much. Let's just get that out of the way.
I will.
You really can't.
I want Solo to answer this question.
Okay, you want him to answer first?
I will answer first.
Now, I am going to change the criteria of the question, Murphy, just so you know, because we're not going to go fully into this question. It's too much. But it might be a video that Brett and I do separately one day. Out of the last teams remaining that haven't won a Super Bowl yet, who do you think are least likely to most likely to win their first? We're not going to rate all of them right now. That could be a video Brett and I could do in the future separately. Right now, all we'll say is least likely and most likely. We won't do the in-between 10 teams. There are 12 teams that haven't won a Super Bowl, Solo. Which one's the least likely and most likely to win their first?
I defer my answer to Brett.
Okay.
Thank you for the committee for hearing me.
I would say most likely will be the Bengals. Least likely will be the Texans.
Okay. All right. I agree with the Texans. I disagree with the Bengals. I have Bengals at number 2. I say Bills.
Oh, yeah, Bills haven't won the Super Bowl. I forgot about that.
I think the Bills are more built to win a Super Bowl than the Bengals are right now. I think the Bengals are right there. Those are my top 2.
I'm pretty sure we struggled to have the Bengals lose a match. We struggled to have them lose a game in the regular season.
Yes. But I would agree with Houston being the least likely. Absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely. Out of the 12. I would say Buffalo is the most likely.
All right, cool.
That would be
good answer, Solo. Good answer.
Good answer,
Thank you. I plead the fifth.
All right. So we have a final question. All questions came from Murphy this week.
Thank you, Murphy.
Our final question. Now, this is a good one. I'm excited to hear some answers on this. What video game or game franchise do you think should have a movie or TV show adaptation that hasn't had one yet? And what about a video game franchise or game that has had one but deserves another chance? So we're trying to think of a game or game franchise that has never had a show or movie that should get one, and one that has had a show or movie but it didn't do well and they deserve another chance.
This would have been a good question to see ahead of time. I could have thought about it. Deserves a show or movie?
I mean, my answer has been something I've been saying for a while. I would love to see Dead by Daylight get a web series.
Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, I would love to see like a web series for their original characters. You know what? I got one that deserves another shot. Oh, Ghost Recon's a good one. Ooh.
Ghost Recon.
I was going to say Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell deserves a shot. One that I think deserves another shot? Prince of Persia. Or Assassin's Creed. It didn't get a fair shake.
No, yeah, production was really crappy.
And that's a franchise that has so much you could do with.
It does have a lot.
You could have done a lot more.
That could be a show with so many seasons.
Yeah, like, it could go forever. Because you could change out the characters and just make it a new story.
And they fumbled it.
Yeah, they blew that.
Completely.
And
church is money.
The same thing with Prince of Persia. I thought that it could have been really good, and they kind of dropped the ball on that one.
There were parts I enjoyed of Prince of Persia.
Yeah, I think I kind of got hindered by the fact I wasn't paying attention to the movie as much as I probably should have been. Anyway. I think I was playing like a tournament on my phone. That's how little I cared. I mean, we're already getting a Toy Story show. Or not Toy Story, Kingdom Hearts. I said Toy Story because I saw I looked up and saw the Kingdom Hearts poster and I saw Woody.
A TV series or a movie?
We're getting a Kingdom Hearts TV series.
Interesting.
So that I'm looking forward to. I don't know. So the thing is, there's not a lot of games that haven't already had a shot. And most of them shouldn't have.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough because the right production companies do not get these licenses.
No. But then again,
They're rarely done with justice.
I mean, I was going to say, then again, I don't know what I'm, I don't know if I'm the right person to speak on this. I enjoyed the new Resident Evil show.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like that show.
Apparently.
It got mixed reviews. That's why I didn't watch it until you guys told me that it was really good. I added it back to my list, but I heard a lot of mixed reviews about it. People didn't like it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
And I list. Everything I
was able to note some issues.
Sure.
It wasn't perfect, but
nothing rarely is anymore.
Anywhere close to the amount of hate that it got.
That being said, I will say, I did just say, it feels like nothing is perfect anymore. I will say, Brett and I watched a movie that may be about as close to perfect as you could ask for.
What movie is that?
The new Predator movie, Prey, may be as close to perfect as you could ask for a movie to be.
It was good?
It was the best movie I've seen all year. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Really, really fucking good.
I was thoroughly entertained. I had I had one semi-major problem. But that's just me being
one like unrealistic moment.
Like this, the main character got a little too saucy with a weapon that she shouldn't have been able to use as well as she was. Without any spoilers, it really isn't spoiling anything. She tied a rope to the bottom of a tomahawk And then she started using it like it was Scorpion's fucking chain and kunai.
No, like
she did. like she was flinging it and then pulling it back into somebody else. And I'm like, this is insane.
But it looked fucking dope.
It was amazing, though.
It looked dope.
But other than that, I mean...
Oh, I have to preface this. I need... Salo, you have to watch this. Viewer, for the love of God.
God.
Go to Disney Plus.
Plus.
And watch the Groot shorts.
Oh my God.
Please. Because
they're the most...
I want more. I want so much
I want
more.
all of them. We watched all 5 of them. We watched all 5 of them. They're 5 minutes apiece, and if you count the credits, if you cut the credits out, they're like 2.5 minutes
2.5.
each.
Yeah. They're so short, but they're so good.
I could sit here and watch 100 of them.
Which ones are they? The Disney shorts?
They're on Disney Plus, and they're the Groot shorts. I Am Groot mini short series.
Oh, that came out. I heard about that. It's
They
good.
are fucking adorable.
Hey.
They are so good.
I laughed.
I cried.
I
cheered.
I think
I cheered.
I'm gonna watch this tonight.
We got so
winced.
fucking hyped.
I winced. It was so good.
Coaster of emotions.
It was that took place over 10 minutes. In the span of 10 minutes, I felt every emotion I felt watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It was so good.
So good. And...
might be some of the best work Marvel has ever done.
And speaking of Marvel work, Brett and I also watched Miss Marvel. We won't spoil anything for the people that haven't watched it. I will say this. I have seen a lot of hate for this show. I do not think it is deserved. I thought the show was fine. Was it great? No.
Stuff towards the end I wasn't a fan of, but...
The last episode was a little bit dumb. But overall, the show is fine. It's worth watching. It's going to matter down the road in the MCU.
In the overall story?
It's going to matter down the road in the MCU. So if you're one of those people that wants to go watch every MCU movie, you might as well go watch this show. Mm-hmm. And it's 6 episodes, and I mean, Brett and I watched 5 of them in a row, so it's not like it was bad enough that we couldn't. We took one break.
How long are the episodes?
46 minutes.
Not bad.
So like average nowadays.
Yeah. And we watched 5 of them in a row. We took one break to go down the rabbit hole of looking at the musician that played the intro of one of the episodes.
There's this violin solo that went so hard.
It was insane.
I wasn't ready for it.
Nah. And so we went down the rabbit hole.
We're just like,
what is happening?
Are we bumping to this right now? This is dope.
We were.
Just caught yourself.
This dude just shredding the violin. Shredding.
But yeah, so if you're
the devil a run for his money.
If you're an MCU fan, you should probably go watch Miss Marvel. It's not as bad as people are treating it. And if you're an action movie fan, you should absolutely go watch Prey. It is, in my opinion, somebody who's seen every one of the movies, it is the best Predator movie they've made.
That's saying a lot.
It is
it's so
that good.
I'm definitely watching The Groot tonight. I'm definitely watching that.
I mean, yeah, it'll take you 10 minutes. I hope so.
Yeah.
You could watch it during a bathroom break at work.
Really?
They're short, man. Like,
short.
There's only 5 of them at 2.5 minutes a pop. But they're so good. Although one of them left us on a cliffhanger, and I'm upset about it.
Was it the last one? I hope it was.
No, it was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Because they're not connected.
Oh, okay. They're not chronological then.
They're just
you have to watch
of Baby Groot's life.
You have to watch the first one first, and then the others you could watch in any order you want. Because the first one is when Baby Groot goes from being pot Baby Groot to walking Baby Groot.
It's called First Steps.
It's called First Steps. And then after that, there doesn't seem to be any chronological order to them, as far as I can tell. I mean, they have them in an order. You might as well just watch them in order, but it doesn't necessarily matter. But the first episode kind of ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm a little upset about it. But that's for season 2.
Season 2. I was going to say season 2.
I hope.
Because everybody's going to fucking watch
Everyone.
this, right?
Everyone. All of you. All of you better go watch these group minis.
Watch. Several times. I want repeats.
And, yeah, I'm going to go watch them again. Best believe. And then we're going to start a hashtag. Hashtag Groot miniseries season 2.
I am Groot season 2.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. We need a season 2. Anyway, but yeah.
Oh man,
that's all I have to say in the world of TV and movies at the moment.
Yeah,
fair.
I do have something like kind of in the realm of movies.
Okay.
Have you guys seen a lot of like good comedy movies lately?
I don't think I have. No.
If you're really thinking about it.
No. Comedy's never really been. It's hard.
I don't think for me, I feel like I'm going from one Kevin Hart movie to the next.
Like his comedy specials or movies? Like his movies? Okay.
Like when he comes out with a movie every so often with The Rock, like
or Ice Cube. No, I mean I'm trying to think. My memory's so bad. No.
So the reason I bring this up is like people have been noticing that there's a lack of either just a lack of comedy in general, like comedy movies, or just a lack of good ones at the very least. And a lot of it is like because of the woke culture.
Because everybody's scared to be like offended.
Yeah,
to be like
so many people. Yeah, like a bunch
they're scared
of,
to get canceled.
great actors have come out and they're just like, yeah, but like I'm not doing movies because I don't want to get canceled. Like I don't want to say something that's funny, but someone watches it and takes offense to it, and then all of a sudden it becomes the world's biggest deal. And like I heard about that recently, and it's so true that that's happening.
I guess I never thought about it like that, but it makes sense. Like you wouldn't want to risk your career on one movie where you look like a jackass and everybody ostracizes you for the whole point of the movie. Comedy.
Yeah, I mean, people are going back in people's movie careers and just like trying to cancel them for stuff.
So I've pulled up a list, comedy movies of 2022, just to get an impression of this year. And I'm just kind of scrolling through, and I don't think I've seen any of these movies so far. They're calling Sonic 2 a comedy. I guess I would have put that more action than comedy. There's that new Nick Cage movie where he's playing himself. I didn't go see it because I'm not the biggest Nick Cage fan. But I heard it was good. And then Jackass Forever.
Jackass Forever.
I will say that was fun.
So
there's really not much on this list.
How familiar are you guys with Andrew Schultz?
What does he look like? Andrew.
He's a comedian. He is well known for like being on Guy Code. He goes on a lot of podcasts.
I see him a lot on TikTok.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude, and he's not afraid to get canceled.
That's the big thing I wanted to point out. So
he's not afraid of it.
He was coming out with his most recent. I don't know when it came out, but his most recent comedy special.
Infamous.
And
I think it was Infamous.
It might have been. I'm not sure. But
yeah, he's a funny dude.
The producers didn't want to put it out because they found a bunch of the jokes were too offensive. So he took like all of his savings and bought his bought the production rights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To his special.
Mm-hmm.
And then released it himself, and is so fucking successful right now.
Really? So he's getting 100% of that back, though, right?
It's his.
Yeah.
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 Smart move.
He owns the rights to it.
Yeah, it's almost like a defiance of the culture right now, the cancel culture, because like as it's been described, I've seen it described in a couple different places, which is why I kind of brought this up. Like there is a legit war on comedy at this moment.
Yeah. Well, so this was a conversation you and I had probably about a week and a half ago when I was on my way to the VA about like the fact that comedy is something. The whole point of comedy is to find the line and step on it. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, and people are afraid to do that now because somebody will take offense. And like, you know, Brett and I discussed this, Salo and viewers, and we asked each other, is there something somebody could say that would genuinely offend you? Like, would you get genuinely offended? And I said, like, in my opinion, I think the only thing is, like, I think there are certain topics that should just be avoided. They're not funny. But that's just me. But, like, if you make a joke, and it's clearly a joke, okay. Like, you can't go on stage and just be racist, and that be okay. That's not how the comedy works. But if you're somebody that goes up there and you make a pretty funny joke about a specific race, as long as it's a one-off kind of thing and you're not just sitting there targeting that community, hey man, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, if your entire stand-up act is just targeting black people,
yeah, then you're racist. You're not funny.
Yeah. It's just like racially charged.
But if you're a black dude that goes up there, makes a black joke, and then a white joke, and then a Hispanic joke, and then an Asian joke, and then makes another black joke, you're funny. You're not racist. You're mean to everybody. You're just a dick. Like that's the difference. But the problem is here's the other problem. It's not just the fact that we have people that get offended. The other problem is current day social media will take the one part of it where he was racist to this community and blow that part up.
Yep, not mention anything else, not show the rest of the clip, not show context. It's just, hey, they say racist statement, and then that's all you see.
And then there's no defending it. It's too late. Because it picks up too much traction before you can make your defense.
I think another thing that ends up happening, and I'm seeing more and more and more of this, is people being offended on someone else's behalf.
Yeah, you need to stop. Unless it's someone you know. Like if someone took a shot at somebody, like at somebody's, I guess, like person, or like if I was around people and they took a shot at the black community, I could be offended on behalf of my two best friends that are black that aren't there to defend themselves. But like, you can't, like, I can't get offended for people that I have nothing to do with.
So something I love seeing nowadays is like I see people go around and they're like recording videos, and it's like it'll be some guy dressed up as like a Native American, right? Mm-hmm. Some white guy, and he'll go up to people and it's like, "Hey, does this offend you?" To just random individuals, not Native Americans, just random people. And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's offensive. That's a cultural appropriation. You're making fun of this race. You're making fun of this culture." But then go to like a Native American gathering of people, like some event, some social thing, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, I love your get up. Oh, that's awesome. That's great." And it's like,
yep.
Why are we being offended for other people? Yep. If they get offended, if somebody gets offended,
well, it's the whole thing with
that makes sense.
It's the whole thing with the Washington Redskins now being the Washington Commanders.
Oh yeah, they did change.
Yes, they changed.
Yeah.
But the reason they changed is because of what we're talking about now. The person who named that team was Native American. The Native American community overall didn't fucking care. Because why would they?
You mainly had,
you know who did care? White people.
Yeah.
It's white people. Like, I can say that. I'm Caucasian. I can say this. white people fucking suck. Because white people think that they're the saviors of everyone. Bitch, I don't even want to save me. I'm not trying to save you. Fair. I got too much on my plate to worry about your bullshit. You're not my best friend. Your bullshit's not my bullshit. I'm not worried about you. Focus on you. I'll focus on me. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, fuck out of here.
But it's white people. It is. Like when people say, white people. I don't get offended. You're right. They suck. Fuck them. I'm with you. Can I come over there? Like, can I come over there, please? Because this shit sucks. And then I get lumped in.
And for the people that are about to be offended, it's not all white people.
No, but it really is like mostly white people. It's the white people that are the loudest about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it stems from the fact that people, including these individuals, are so afraid of being racist.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Because I've seen that a lot. I've seen someone so afraid of being racist that, like...
that they have to appropriate.
Yeah, they have to, like, they do things that they just shouldn't
They have to overcorrect. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I will say, I do see that, because you've seen it firsthand. You've seen it happen to me. People will call me racist for some reason. Just because I'm white. Like, and I'm not. Like, and I don't use I've got a black friend excuse. My two best friends are black. That's not how racism works.
Solo's more racist than you.
That's probably true.
He hates his own kind.
True. Well, so I hate my own kind too sometimes. Don't we all? But like,
I'm never gonna let that go, homie. By the way,
it's
I'm not
so
gonna
funny.
let that go.
It's so funny. But like, it's just like when people accuse me of being racist. So I see where people are coming from. The problem is, not everyone's afraid of being called racist. But once they get called racist, what do? Do you just ignore it, or do you have to try and defend yourself? Because you don't want people just thinking that about you if it's not true. But the problem is if you try to defend yourself, then people are like, why are you being so defensive?
Mm-hmm.
What are you supposed to do?
Yourself, then you're just accepting that you're racist. And it's like, oh, well, he's clearly racist.
Right. Like, the minute somebody calls somebody racist, you're officially in a lose-lose. Because if you defend yourself, why are you so defensive about it if it's not true? Because it's not true. But if you don't defend yourself, you don't got nothing to say? No, last time I tried to say something, you thought I was being too defensive.
Clearly a racist because he didn't defend himself, but also clearly a racist if he defends himself.
Right,
you can't win.
No, you can't. And I don't know why this is a thing, and you and I have talked about this as well, Brett. I don't know why there are so many people out there that believe only white people can be racist.
Yeah,
I don't know why that's a thing.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's not what racism is. I don't know why that's a thing, but there are genuinely so many people out there that believe that.
So, Salo, this is more so for you. So Daniel got called racist, like, on social media, right? On a post. And I go and I'm like defending him, right? I'm like, hey, you ain't gonna sit here and just dog my boy like this. I'm gonna need you to calm the fuck down.
I remember this.
Now, in the conversation,
right?
It got to what we just talked about, right? Like, oh, well, only white people can be racist,
right?
And then with me defending him, I got called racist.
Yep.
I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
That doesn't track. He can't be racist. He's black.
Just a racist defending a racist.
I need you to make up your mind. Yeah, I need you to make up your mind. Now, if you called me half racist, I might have let you have a little bit of an argument there. But you can't just give me the full word. You can't just... I'm just racist.
Halfway. You just... Or ist. You just ist.
I'm just ist.
You're a ist. Nothing more, nothing less. Just half of a racist, a ist.
But yeah, no, that I do remember that. Like, Brett jumped in because, like, it was at the point where I was like, I just got to stop. because they're just coming at me for no reason. So Brett jumped in and he's like, "Y'all ain't gonna dog my homie like this for no reason. Like he ain't do nothing." And then they they literally said like only white people can be racist, and then like 5 comments later called Brett racist against black people.
I need you to figure out what's capable. All right, what can we do?
I was like, this is confusing. I don't understand. But no, I agree. Like, so the problem is, and I will say the other problem is with social media, people take things too far, and then it's hard to tell when is it a joke and when is it not. Because some people, it's their gimmick to be a douchebag and be racist and be misogynistic and be controversial. That's how they get their views.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it works. It does. As unfortunate as it is, it works. But, like, that might not be who they actually are. But the problem is, then it promotes those opinions. Like, a perfect example. Have y'all heard about this guy, Andrew Tate?
I was just trying to think of his name, bro. I was exactly, when you were saying that, I was like, what's that guy's name so I can bring it up? That guy.
I can't stand how often this motherfucker crosses my feed.
Why is he so famous right now?
Oh my god.
Have y'all heard some of the shit he has to say about women?
Yes.
It's insane. And I think he believes it.
Oh, yeah, no, he does.
Like, I don't think it's a gimmick.
So he's been saying shit like this
for years.
I
don't think it's a gimmick. Like, I don't think this is a personality. Like, I think this is him.
This is his personality.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's like somebody he's playing on social media.
You don't think so?
No.
Like,
why would you want to play this guy?
I really get confused. Like, every time I see, because I'll just be scrolling and he pops up on my feed. I'm like, did I do something today to be a horrible person?
Right.
That, like, this is suggested to
it's
me.
Like, why would TikTok think of
person?
Me? Yeah.
Here's another horrible person that you should sit here and listen to. Like, that's what I get concerned.
Well,
every time this dude pops up.
I mean, maybe you should be, because he's never actually naturally popped up on my feed. I've had to be shown his videos.
He's popped up on my feed, and I feel like, what did I do wrong? Which video did I like by accident for it to be for this ignorance, for this cesspool of hatred to show up on their For Me page?
It is insane. Like, so for those of you who don't know about Andrew Tate, because you're not on things like TikTok or you don't watch YouTube Shorts and stuff like that, for those of you who don't,
you're not a horrible person,
and you're not a horrible person, or maybe you are and you're just not that kind of horrible person.
It's true.
Like, there are different types of horrible people. We expect that some of you are horrible. We're horrible.
Specifically,
Andrew Tate is a former kickboxer, I believe, and turned social media influencer and business owner who has spent several years just, I guess, fucking just pushing this agenda that men are better than women, and that I know. So one thing I heard him say was that if he wants to be with multiple women, he can, because he's a champion. But if they want to be with multiple men, that would make them whores. And I'm like, that's not how this works.
I have heard him say that. So, like, as far as I'm aware, it started off as a push the alpha male agenda.
Yes, it was very
like,
alpha male.
That's how it started. It was like, hey, I'm an alpha male. I'm better than all these beta males. This is why I'm better than all these beta males. And then from there, it got more and more misogynistic.
Mm-hmm.
More and more. And it just kept piling on. And the thing is, he's at this point where he either had so many people agreeing with him and enjoying his content, or so many people disliking and giving his content views and a voice, that he's now going to these really large podcasts. And I think that's why he's popping up, because he's popping up on these podcasts
that people have already enjoyed. Yeah,
exactly. And
so like I saw him on
right now.
I saw him on Your Mom's House. That podcast.
Oh yeah. Your Mom's House. Yeah, I think I've seen him.
I was like, dude, this is a weird moment to run a bit. I'm like,
that's the name of the podcast.
No, that's the name of the podcast. Is Your Mom's House.
I was trying to think. I was like, what are you talking about?
Like,
no, that's the name of the podcast. Okay. And that's where I saw him, and I'm 95% sure. Now, I guess I could have read the room wrong, but I'm 95% sure watching it that they were sitting there just kind of like making fun of him, and he wasn't picking up on it.
Yeah, I've seen ones where the entire cast is trying to like disprove what he's saying and like call him out on his shit, but the clips are basically him dominating the conversation.
Right. Well, so I watched most of the I actually watched most of the episode that he was on for Your Mom's House because that's Tom Segura's podcast.
You like that guy? He's cool.
I like Tom Segura. He's funny. And like Tom Segura was like agreeing with everything he was saying, but he was doing it in a really condescending way. Like you know how you can agree with somebody and still be saying you're wrong. But I just want you to say more.
Talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep talking.
Like he would say something and Tom Segura would just be like, "Yeah, you tell them where they belong." And just he was sitting there and he would look over and he'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? He right. You need to make me a sandwich." And I was just like, "Yo, this is weird." But I remember, so I saw a thing recently where Andrew Tate claimed that he was the world's first trillionaire.
Bullshit.
Nah, dog, you worth 25 mil, which is more than you deserve to be worth. But you ain't no billionaire, let alone trillionaire.
I feel like he just hit the specific niche of haters, and he's only targeting them. So it doesn't really matter if it gets to different audiences because he's going for that one specific who supporter.
He's gonna go to jail soon. So
you remember those classes people would take, learn how to not be a nice guy. And
he has one.
It's like he became the most successful version of doing that.
Mm-hmm. But it still ain't no $1 trillion business.
No.
He also apparently set up a. I remember seeing this. He set up a website where guys could subscribe to help women through these hard times, and him and his brother were posting these women's sob stories, and then taking all the money.
Wow!
And he outright admitted it was a scam.
What a punk!
Hold on, let me hang on. I remember reading about it earlier today. Here it is.
That sounds like something he would do.
All right, so according to his website, he was born in the United States, holds a British and U.S. citizenship, has earned multiple world titles as a professional fighter, blah, 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 blah. Tate earned his fortune initially by running an adult webcam business called My Free Cams with his brother Tristan. They employed women to have chat sessions with men in which the women would complain of personal tragedies and claim to be in need of money, which the men would supply via a tipping feature on the site. The Daily Mirror interviewed the two brothers in March. Tristan said in the interview that the business was, quote, a big scam to sell sob stories to desperate men to give us all of the money.
Isn't it weird how we live in a day and age where you can openly admit to a crime and no one gives a fuck?
Tristan Tate, the brother, claimed on a video podcast in March at the height of My Free Cams that over 75 women were working for him and his brother across 4 locations. They paid the women to sell their sob stories, basically, and that they were pulling in, after paying the women, $600,000 a month off of these scams.
What the fudge?
So real quick, and I know anyone watching this, if you're interested, you're probably gonna look it up, right? You're gonna Google this guy. You're gonna go watch some podcasts that he's on. Maybe you watch some of his personal YouTube videos.
I suggest watching the. If you
No,
want to,
no,
if
I
you
say
want to
don't.
watch anything, I suggest watching the Your Mom's House episode because Tom Segura is just making fun of him the whole time.
Here's the thing. I say just do what you can to not entertain it. Because you're like, even though it might, we're just looking up, we're trying to get facts. What ends up happening, we're just feeding into it. Like, every single search of this man's name just makes him bigger. Us having this conversation, unfortunately, makes him just the tiniest bit percentage bigger.
I don't know. I see what you're saying. I don't entirely agree with you. I do see where you're coming from on the idea of discussing him makes him bigger. However, if it's a choice between discussing the flaw or ignoring the person altogether, I would rather bring more awareness to the flaw than pretend it doesn't exist.
I agree. I feel like it's good to face it up front, even though those people will exist. Just to use him as a platform to teach the shitty stuff that he does, not really focusing on him, you know?
Because if we don't talk about it and people don't look into it, all they're gonna know is what people want them to know. We're gonna sit here and tell you everything we can. We don't know if we have all the information, but we're telling you everything we can that we've seen about Andrew Tate. No one else is gonna. Like, if you try to ignore the bullshit, you're only going to catch the glimpses that people want you to catch. That's my opinion. And it's inevitable. I mean, you guys both said it. He pops up on your feeds and you don't even fucking like him.
So fucking annoying.
Fuck that guy.
So, like, it's probably not just you guys, realistically, you know what I mean? It's probably happening to anybody on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. The best thing I think we could do is educate ourselves. Everybody could educate themselves in knowing who he is. Not to mention, hopefully, it'll all be done soon. Because he's still under investigation in Romania. So,
fuck that.
For human trafficking.
Well, on the, if we want to keep talking about shitty people.
Sure.
So in where was this? This was in Virginia.
Okay.
And this has happened over the course of like the past year and a half. But just to give you the blanket statement of what happened. At a school, high school,
Mm-hmm.
a young man dressed up as a woman with a skirt on went into a female bathroom and raped a young girl.
Where? What?
In Virginia. So this happened, right? That is what happened.
Right.
And after this happened, the father attended a school board meeting and tried to get them to do something about it.
Right.
Because they knew. They didn't do anything about it because there was at the time a big push for transgender legislation and just like changing their policies. In this particular situation would have shot a giant hole in that
would have
and just
completely shut it down.
destroyed it.
It would have.
So
it would
instead
have
of addressing the issue, it would have, but instead of addressing the issue, they ignored it.
Which makes it worse.
It makes it way worse. So while at this board meeting, this father, obviously he was upset. So he's trying to convince all these people to do something about it. I imagine he got very loud, probably got very abrasive. No like violence or anything, but they had the police show up and detain him and arrest him. The father. So after that arrest, like that arrest got media coverage. That media coverage then landed on coverage of the situation. Then people knew that it happened, and people had to finally address it. So, the assault happened in May. People didn't start looking into it as a crime until October.
That's ridiculous. How many months?
May to October, that's what, 5 months?
5 months.
Yeah. He was after they started looking into it. Oh no! So just weeks after the incident happened, this is just more information. The boy was supposed to be on house arrest, right? Because a crime was committed, but they put him on house arrest. After that, he went and I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't have all the information,
right.
But he allegedly went and assaulted another girl at a different school.
All right. So here's the thing.
Are they prosecuting him now?
Yeah, he's been charged with sexual battery,
and rape,
and abduction. After the police stated he forced a girl into an empty classroom, held her against her will, and touched her inappropriately.
All right. So here's the thing. Here's the question. How do we change this? Because, so the thing is, this isn't going to go away.
No, it's not. Shitty people are not going to
Shitty people will never go away, and I'm all for, I mean, we've said it before, I'm all for transgender equality. But, when we open that door, which the door should be opened, I'm not saying it shouldn't be. The door should be open for transgender equality. But when that door gets opened, it also opens the door for bad people who are going to use those advantages in a bad way. That is the facts. There will always be someone that can take a good thing and make it useful for them in a bad way, no matter what it is. That is not the fault of the transgender community. I'm not blaming the transgender community for people like that.
Wait, so
but
he
people
dressed like
are
a girl?
He dressed... So, yeah, that's what I got. He dressed like a girl so he could go into the women's...
He wasn't transgender. Just for the record, he was just a normal guy.
So
correct, but that's what we're saying.
That's
transgender,
the problem.
Creating transgender opportunity is going to allow bad people to pretend to be transgender to use it to their advantage.
Who was it recently? A celebrity. Just recently changed their pronouns from they, them to she, her.
Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato. And I mean, obviously she had her reasons. She went through, the stuff that she went through to come to that change. But she did just change it.
Yeah, like there's no process to this.
That's the problem.
It's just making a declaration.
You can just make that change.
It's just making a declaration. That's all you have to do. Like Demi Lovato's entire reason for going from she, her to they, them was because on some days she felt more masculine than she did feminine, and she didn't want to identify as feminine on those days. So she chose to identify as they, them for a time. And that's fine. I don't care. Do you? The problem is, she can just say, I'm they, them now. I can use whichever restroom I want. I can do whatever I want in the eyes of society. Without a regulation on how that works, all you have to do is make a declaration and just somewhat look the part.
Yep.
And you can do it.
All it takes is a situation like this. You have a horrible individual, a pervert, an abuser,
who puts on a dress and goes into the women's restroom. Abuses, does his business, walks out,
and
I'm a guy again. Right. So the question then becomes, how do we stop things like this? Because the only thing I can think of in my head that's like a legitimate thought is putting a cop in every bathroom. And that's going to be awkward for everybody, but it's the only way you could even remotely try and keep people safe. Is putting a female cop in every women's restroom and a male cop in every male restroom.
So I don't have a fix, right? I don't have
right. And I'm saying mine's not plausible. It's just the only thought I could come up with.
The sad thing is that this situation is going to happen
It's going to happen again.
Numerous times.
It's just going to.
Before anything real gets done about it. I don't know what that real thing is going to be.
Well, this is the argument that, we've been making the whole time is this is the fear. What stops somebody from doing this? Clearly the answer is nothing. That's the problem, because we've been talking about this the whole time. We want equality for everybody. I want everyone to feel comfortable in who they are. I want people to be them. I don't care if you're a dude. I don't care if you're a chick. I don't care if you're neither or if you're both. It's not my business. It's not my problem. Do you. Be happy. As long as your happiness doesn't cause pain and suffering for other people, be you. I don't give a shit. And if it causes suffering for people that are, like, bigots, fuck them. That's not who we're talking about here.
Outside of, the transgender, the identity switching, I think another thing to really highlight here is a school board actively decided not to do anything about this.
And I will say, I understand their thought of, if we bring this up, it is going to completely derail what we're trying to do. Because they were right. It would have.
What were they trying to do?
They were trying to make changes for the transgender community.
They were trying to make it to where it was more accepted for transgender individuals to do like what this guy did. And
that's a very bad decision. That's so ignorant. So they just decided to, because of that agenda, they didn't.
They tried to bury it, right? So I understand the thought of, oh shit, this is going to really blow up our push for this. It would have. Oh well. You don't bury this. This isn't something you should bury and try and make go away. Now, here's a question. Is this a fix? I don't know if this is a fix or not. Would it be beneficial if we stopped making mass public restrooms? So instead of having a restroom that 10 people can be in at the same time, you make 10 smaller individual restrooms.
I like that idea. I like that idea. I mean, there's obviously, you can get into the complexities of what would be the ramifications of having to remodel every single public structure in America, but
if it's for the safety of people.
Yeah. You could slowly roll it out. Obviously,
it would take time.
And people would argue you can't just change it, and we can just slowly roll it out.
But nothing else can change over time.
Like, all the new buildings will have that. Yeah, I like that.
So something I will add just to cover all bases is, logically, even if it wasn't allowed for this individual to go into the female bathroom,
they could have found a way.
He probably would have still either
found a way,
just gone in,
right?
If you're a horrible individual committing horrible acts,
you'll make bad things happen.
Yeah,
the
you're probably not
going to
care about the little things.
We need to try and not make it easy for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we went with the individual bathroom idea, just theoretically, we could do away with women's restrooms, men's restrooms entirely. There is no longer a women's restroom. There is no longer a men's restroom, which would then eliminate the issue for transgender people as well, having to say, oh, well, I look masculine, but I identify as female. People are going to feel weird about me going in the women's restroom. They have nothing to say now. You just went in bathroom number 4.
And there's only one person per bathroom, so sucks to suck. You're just going to have to wait.
Infrastructure-wise, it's going to be a fucking nitmare.
You can do double lines. You'll be fine.
It would be difficult at first, but I think it would be an easy thing to solve.
They'll figure it out.
I think it'd be rather difficult for structures and plans that currently exist.
Yes.
But like newer facilities, you could already plan and lay it out.
You could plan and lay it out. And I don't think changing things would be too difficult, because you could have. So what you could do is you could literally just make walls with doors for where the toilets are now until you can make a better plan, and then just bust out the walls for where the sinks are. Sinks are now public area. People can see you washing your hands because that's not something that needs to be done in private.
Yeah, and then it's like that way you can make sure that people actually do it because there'll be social pressure because it's outside and you can see them do that.
Yeah. If that's a big. You walk out the bathroom and not wash your hands, you nasty.
Like, you nasty, bro. You just walked away from that. We all saw.
But I think it would be easier to structure for men right now, just because you just replace the urinals with a toilet, and then you've got a shit ton of fucking individual bathrooms right there.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The problem is the women's restroom is already condensed because they don't have urinals to begin with. So it would be a little bit more difficult to transition the women's restrooms into a more safe structure. But I do think an individual bathroom idea and then just breaking out the walls for the open area where people wash their hands. If you can't figure out a sink situation in each bathroom, obviously for newer buildings, just put a sink in each bathroom. But for the ones that currently
ideally
exist,
for like male and female bathrooms that are already side by side, you just take out the adjoining wall, and now it's an open bay.
It's an open bay of sinks.
I mean,
and I think it would. I think it would significantly reduce the risk. I think obviously there's always a risk. That's never going to go away. But I think it would significantly reduce it. And then there wouldn't be a male and female. Then you wouldn't have to sit there and be like, oh man, I really got to go to the bathroom, but the women's restroom is full and the male restroom has no one in it.
Ain't no gender bathroom. You just go in the slot. You go in the little thing.
Just restroom number 7 is open.
I'm sure there might be things that we're like not considering.
Sure,
because
for now that's the perfect solution.
We're not construction
people.
We're
not the people that are going to solve this issue.
But the fact that we were able to sit here and come up with something means there can be solutions.
Yeah.
We just need to find one.
One day, guys.
Well, I hate to bring up another shitty person, but let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. Because I wrote this down. I wanted to bring this up. So... Brett knows this. A lot of my viewers from Twitch know this. Earlier this week, I took Apollo to get his surgery for his eye. He had a cyst on his eye. He's fine. Nobody should worry about the dog. He's good. What I didn't tell Brett, because I wanted to get his reaction live. I think I told Brett. I might have, though, because I can't remember.
Camera 2, zoom in on Brett.
This is awkward.
But I'm going to get your reaction as well, Salo, and tell everybody else about this. So, while I was at the vet... There was a guy parked in his truck next to us, and he had a cat in the back of his truck, in the bed of his truck that he brought to the vet. Wasn't his cat. You know why he brought it? Because while he was driving on the interstate, he saw someone throw their cat out of the window of their car.
That's horrible.
Holy shit.
And he pulled over, he got the cat, and he took it to the vet. And he said, if I had seen their license plate, I'd probably be in jail right now. And you know what? I don't blame you. I probably would too. Who the fuck does that? That's disgusting.
Yeah. What an asshole.
Just don't have a fucking pet.
Yeah.
And my thought process was like, maybe the cat jumped, but he said he saw them throw the cat out the window. So I'm picturing you see the whole arm drop. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's our douchebag of the day.
Like you're littering on the road.
Right, but with a
live
creature.
animal.
With a live creature.
And this guy stopped, took the time out of his day in the middle of the week. This isn't a weekend where he probably didn't have plans. This is 8 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. He was probably on his way to work. You know what I mean? And he stopped, he grabbed this cat, he wrapped it up in a blanket, he put it in the bed of his truck. Because his cab was full, and he went to the vet, and he's just sitting at the vet waiting for answers. First of all, this story has a horrible human being and a good human being in it, and we need more of that good person.
Not everybody would do that. Nobody would take their time.
No one else stopped. He's the only person that stopped.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't. I would. I don't know about y'all. I don't care where I'm going. I would stop. I'd call and be like, look, I'm really sorry I'm going to be late. But this was more important.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I would, but I can't account for every situation.
Like, I guess if it's an emergency, like I'm on the way to the ER because somebody's hurt, maybe.
Right. Like I'm bleeding out and I need to get to the hospital because of the wounds I've
right, or like I get to call
attack.
somebody, or like somebody I care about's at the hospital in the ER, like things like that. Sure, emergencies, but like I'm on my way to work. I'm on my way to Paulina's house for a party. I'm on my way to the hookah lounge. Fuck all that.
Hookah.
My friend Paulina, I go to hang out with on the weekends. Like, I would
keep the conversation going. I'm gonna be real unprofessional and go to the bathroom. I've been holding it for
bastard.
A while, so
you bastardo.
All right, we're not going to talk the entire time he's gone. We're just going to stare.
Just say nothing.
We're just going to stare at that empty square.
Empty square.
But no, like,
empty square.
But like, I would like to think I would stop in like almost any situation. I would stop and try and help that cat.
Yeah, I know. We have a lot of little stray kittens in my neighborhood, and I saw one of them at the side of the road, and it's a bigger part of the story. But basically, I came back from work and it was still there, and I'm like, you got to pick up the
got to
kitten.
do something.
You got to. It's buried backyard because I'm like, it's a little animal. It's a little dude. Like you can't just leave him out there and like just.
It's just sad.
It's gonna be on the side of the road and nobody does anything.
And like I get strays and I get like and roadkill. Like I don't stop for roadkill most of the time. Like it's sad, but it happens. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like maybe like if it was in my neighborhood, I would stop if it was like a domestic animal. Like I'm not gonna stop if it's just like a rat or
right
something like that. But like if it was a cat or a dog, yeah, something like that. But like I don't know, man. Like I stop when there's an accident because I have firefighting training and mild EMT training. I stop if there's an accident and see if I can help. I'm definitely going to stop if somebody throws their pet out the window. Like, what kind of garbage human being does that?
Yeah, an asshole. That's who. I don't know.
But it's just disgusting, honestly.
I can't relate to people who do that. That's ridiculous to me.
Like people like that should never have pets. Never.
I agree. You're back just in time.
Right, you guys can start talking again.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, good.
So,
anyways.
So I don't know if you guys heard. The CDC has officially ended COVID, I guess.
I did not hear.
There's no more COVID restrictions. You don't have to wear masks anymore. There's no 6 feet apart. COVID's over unless you're going to like a mass gathering in... Yeah, we're talking about in America where we matter.
Sarcastically, he said, as nobody laughed.
It was 100% sarcastic. I know we have...
This motherfucker was serious.
I know we have plenty of Canadian listeners. You guys matter too.
Somewhat.
As he's wearing a banana shirt, this is so insensitive.
Banana. But anyway, no. So the CDC completely lifted like all like regulations and restrictions and everything. They talked about like so now you don't have to quarantine if you've been in contact with somebody that has COVID. You only need to quarantine if you have COVID. So unless you test positive for COVID, no quarantines.
So you're
no more masks, no more 6 feet apart rule, nothing. Like, as far as the CDC is concerned, COVID's like over.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I saw as of Thursday.
Interesting.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Solo, you first.
Well, you see, right? I'm glad you asked me first. Anyways, I think this is very interesting, and I think we just need to be careful. I feel like just because they said it's not a big issue, I just feel like people still need to focus and, make sure they're getting their vaccines or boosters or whatever, because it's going to stick around for a little while. It's not just going to disappear completely. And even though some organization predicts that it's pretty much under control, we as human beings like to take a little bit of it's okay and just go all out and party while we're on COVID. And I don't want them to think that it's going to be okay, Like, Still be cautious. Still take your shots, or still be hygienic. That's my biggest thing. But thank you, CDC, for the advice. Sheesh.
Daniel?
I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb that we've been sitting here so stressed out for 2.5 years and now we don't care. Like, I don't understand what's changed in the last week.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Like,
I feel like
do I
that.
necessarily care? No. Like, I've been in the mentality of like, all right, COVID's here and it's here to stay. I'm either going to get it or I'm not. I have it. Like, and I'm not pressed. Like, I had my vaccine. I had my booster. And this was, honestly, this was no worse than a common cold or allergies for me. Now, I understand I'm not the same as everybody. Some people are still going to get it worse. And that sucks. I'm not going to go out and just start, like, fucking breathing in air that everybody else... Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, breathe on me. Breathe on me. Like, I'm not going to do that. But, I mean, like, it doesn't mean I need to fucking... Like, I've been in the mentality of, like, all right, COVID's here and it's here to stay. I got to live my fucking life. And I've been living my life. So them changing these things doesn't really change things for me. But I don't understand why we're changing them now as if things have changed drastically from where they were 6 months ago. If anything, I'm pretty sure COVID is worse right now than it was 6 months ago because it's hot and heat makes it spread.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
No, we are in
we're in an up
and entering flu season.
Yes, we're in an up.
And it's and I hate to break it to anybody that has not come to this realization.
COVID's the new flu.
COVID, it's just another flu. It is. You are going to contract it with the same timing that you contract the flu.
Yeah.
And maybe you get the flu at the same time.
Add it to the list of things that your body is going to go through on a yearly basis. You're going to come in contact with the flu. Whether that is because you got the flu shot and you got a little bit of the flu in you to help counteract it, or you came in contact with the flu. You're going to get a cold. At some point, most likely in the year, you're getting a cold. It's just going to happen. And you're going to get COVID.
Yep.
Are you going to experience symptoms for any of these? Not necessarily.
Maybe.
Is it going to affect you?
Maybe.
Not necessarily. Maybe it affects you a lot.
Maybe you'll never get over it and you'll get COVID for years and years, like many of the people who ever, have gotten that. Like, or maybe it'll just go away.
What do you mean by years and years?
Well, there's been, not years and years, but there's been people with long-term symptoms because of getting COVID, like that haven't gotten away.
Like okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I wasn't meant years, obviously. We've only been dealing with it for, one at least. But
yeah, 2.5.
2.5, yeah. But some people are like still feeling it, even though they got it like a year ago. Like one specific symptom, or as a result of COVID, they felt a different way for something. I don't know.
One of my stream friends, they got COVID a year ago. They still can't taste.
Yeah, something like, yeah, that's crazy.
They still don't have a sense of taste a year later. Which, I'm going to be honest with you, that's a hell of a diet program. Like, I'm going to be real. If I lost my sense of taste, like, I'd be upset.
I'm probably not eating most shit.
But I'm not eating junk food anymore. I'm eating just healthy shit because it all tastes like nothing. Like, at the point that I get, like, the loss of taste sensation from COVID, I'm taking advantage of that. Like, it sucks. Sure. I like food. I like the taste of certain foods. But if I can't taste them, I'm going on the best diet ever. Real talk.
Yeah.
I'm eating a shit ton of celery. Like, low-calorie shit that doesn't taste all that good. I don't need peanut butter for my celery. You know why? Can't taste the peanut butter. Like, I'm just eating shit that I don't like, but I know would have been good for me. And I'm probably getting a little skinny. Now, I'd rather keep my taste.
He's getting skinnier.
I said a little skinny. That's the same thing. A little skinny. I'm getting a little skinny.
Little skinny.
It's my rap name, y'all.
Skinny. Sounds like you getting dabbed up.
What up, little skinny?
Little skinny.
Speaking of rappers. Speaking of rappers.
I don't know, audience. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the game.
Triple H.
Wrong game. The rapper, the game.
It's time to play the game.
He might have come out with some things in recent years. Honestly, I haven't heard much from him. But he is very talented.
Yeah.
Now, he did something recently that could overshadow his talent, and cast a large shadow on his career. And that thing is he created a diss track against the one individual you should never create a diss track against.
Nick Cannon.
No.
Yes. He specifically made references to Nick Cannon. Yes. But no, he made this track to Slim Shady himself, Marshall Mathers, Eminem.
The one guy you're never supposed to battle rap.
That white guy from D12?
That one, very one indeed.
Or as the game put it, the white Royce the 5'9".
Oh, you talking about B Rabbit?
I am talking about B Rabbit.
One down 8 Mile.
This sounds like a bad decision, Brett.
It is. It is. Without a shadow of a doubt, a horrible decision. Something else that was done in this diss track, which, unbiasedly, well constructed. Being unbiased, it was well constructed. Not the most disses.
It was
in the diss track.
It was alright.
It was
fine.
more so. Yeah, it was fine. It was more so making fun of.
It was better than
a lot of that.
anything Nick Cannon did.
Yeah.
Or could ever do.
Thought lyrically, I thought it was way better than what MGK did.
Lyrically, I think it was better than what MGK did, but
I think MGK had more diss.
Entertainment-wise, I think
yeah.
I think MGK
he was more
disses.
diss heavy.
Yeah. I think MGK had more disses, and I think his was more, I guess, original. Because, like you said, this whole thing felt like he was making fun of M, so it almost felt like a spoof.
Yeah, a lot of it was spoofy. A lot of it was using similar to M flows, referencing a lot of his different songs, different things he said, different things said about him. For anyone who's wondering, because this is kind of like the big thing on whether or not, hey, is this going to be anything? He did reference Haley.
Eminem's Haley. Eminem's Haley.
You don't do that.
Specifically, not Eminem's Haley.
That's a bad call.
Yeah, it was not smart.
I'm ready for the Eminem reply. You think Eminem should even reply? Is it even worth replying? You think so?
Yeah.
He came at Haley at a really bad. He was like, "I got Haley," and Haley's like, "Dad, save me!" I'm like, "Bro, what?"
Homie, this isn't Nick Cannon, okay? This is a rapper.
This is a real rapper.
Yeah, a real rapper.
Not a fake rapper. Sorry, Nick Cannon.
Like a dude with skin in the game.
And on top of that, look, here's the thing, and I'm gonna say it. Nick Cannon probably would have got a response if he would have said anything by himself.
Oof.
But
nothing Nick Cannon did was good.
No, Nick Cannon was the worst part of his own diss tracks because he had people like Clips and Khan and Hitman Holla on his diss tracks, and all three of them cast a shadow that not even Nick Cannon can see out of.
Yeah, you can't get out of that.
And when you're not the most impressive person on your own diss track,
rappers on his track.
Yeah, when you're not the most impressive person on your own diss track,
you ain't shit.
You're not worth the rebuttal.
Exactly.
And they put out 3 diss tracks 3 days in a row saying they were going to keep coming for Slim, and then they just stopped.
They gave up, or they got scared.
I remember in the second track, they said, we dropping one every day till we hear something back. Day 3, they stopped. That was it.
Like, who?
Yep.
Now, granted, maybe M would have responded if he wasn't in the middle of making music to be murdered by.
To be murdered by.
Because that's when that happened.
He did give somewhat of a response. I mean, his response in Music to be Murdered by was, "Yo,
you ain't worth
it.
Is
not worth my response.
You ain't worth
You
it.
are not worth my time."
Right. But like,
you can't even keep cadence with yourself. So like
he couldn't.
That was the whole thing there.
But like, we don't know what M's doing
this.
right now. We don't know what M's doing right now. So if he's not in the middle of a project, M might just be like,
let me lay down some bars.
Yeah. And that being said, like, so MGK, like when the whole thing happened with MGK dropped his diss track that he clearly had prepped. We've talked about this before, Brett. He clearly had that track prepped.
Yeah, it was partially made 7 months in advance.
like almost a year in advance, right? So he was ready. M took 2 weeks to come back at him. So we give it 2 weeks. And we see what happens. But I'm going to be real with you. If next episode we have something to say about this, it's probably reading Homie's eulogy.
Not Homie.
Because he said enough that I feel like Eminem's going to hurt his feelings. Because the thing about MGK's diss track is MGK had some really good disses, but none of them had any substance to them. They were all just kind of like, they were real jokes. They were all old jokes, but they were really good bars, but they were real fluff. Everything Game had to say, like, he didn't have any big hitters, but he took a lot of solid jabs.
One after another.
Like, he didn't throw a single haymaker, but he took a shit ton of good body shots.
Back to back to back to back.
Like, MGK tried to throw haymaker after haymaker and none of them landed.
Not a single one.
But you got to give props for trying. You know what I mean? He did try and throw haymakers. Like, he didn't just sit there and just kind of jab his way through it.
It was weird listening to it because, like, you know, you see the video, like, you pull it up, you see the videos of people reacting to it, and it was like, oh, you know, the game disses Eminem. Game disses Eminem.
Right.
And I start listening to this, and I'm just like, this doesn't sound like a fucking.
The first two verses sounded like they were paying homage.
Oh yeah. It sounded like he was
kind of praising them.
And then when you hear the third verse, you realize,
this isn't.
He was making fun of him.
This isn't okay. All right.
Now it's personal.
Something's wrong.
He starts saying,
but he dropped a lot of names, and I think he might have made a lot of enemies in this, and that's dangerous because he dropped. Let's run through it. First of all, most importantly, he talked about Haley. That's number one. Let's get that out the way. Anybody that mentions Haley, their career ends relatively soon after. MGK had to go to a different genre.
He also mentioned Kim, but I think that's less.
I don't think it's cared about. Now, granted, that Kim bar was kind of saucy, but now
not a different genre.
Now that Haley out of the way, yeah, he sent MGK to a different genre. He did. MGK don't rap no more.
He doesn't.
He don't.
No, he did.
He's a pop punk star now.
That's so funny.
Because the last rap thing he did
was Diablo.
Was the album. Yeah, it was the album that had Rap Devil on it.
Yeah, it was Diablo.
Which was the only good song on that album.
Only good track. That album was buns.
It was garbage.
But let's see. Who else did he take shots at? So he took shots at Dre. He took shots at Fitty. He kind of took like
Snoop.
He brought up Snoop, but he was praising Snoop. But I don't think that was the right call because Snoop and M are cool now.
Real cool.
And he also didn't take a shot at him, but he brought up Royce. And I don't know if that was a good call either.
No, because you...
Yo, I'm just sitting here imagining. Could you imagine all of them just getting on a track and just saying what they got to say?
So I'm thinking and this was mentioned once, but I'm thinking somebody that he brought up that he really shouldn't have. He made it seem like Tech 9 was against Eminem.
That was a bad call because Tech is not.
So for anyone that doesn't know this, one of the times MGK dissed Eminem was on a Tech 9 track. Tech 9 was not happy about this. And he goes on stating afterwards, he's like, hey man, this was not the platform for you to be like trying to start beef on.
Right.
Tech has no beef with M.
None.
Tech does not want beef with M.
No, because Tech
He's
as
firmly stated,
legendary as Tech is, as dangerous as Tech is, Tech knows he does not want that.
No, he doesn't.
Because why would you?
You would.
Yeah.
No, this is. I'm interested to see where we go from here. I'm interested to see if, and if so, when Eminem responds. But here's the question: because this was the whole thing with Nick Cannon, was the game's diss track impressive enough that Eminem has to respond? I don't think he has to.
I don't think he has to, no. I feel like he'd be giving more credence to the game by doing that.
I don't think it lessens him if he doesn't.
I wouldn't think it does.
I think... I kind of disagree a little bit. This, as an individual, way more credence in terms of the actual rap game. Maybe not in terms of, like, the public, but Eminem doesn't give a shit about the public.
No. Okay.
In terms of the rap game, way bigger than MGK.
No. The person
Nick Cannon
would warrant a response, but
and
does
in terms
the track
of what was said, yeah, I think it's. I think in terms of what was said, it was much more like substantially demeaning than any of the other two, or should I say 4? Because Nick Cannon wanted to. No, what 7? Because MGK
7
just kept saying shit. I don't know. Had more substance. It just had more. It had much more personal call outs. It, like, whether it's family or his friends. I think this one was actually meaningful, and especially with who it's from.
So
it's from the game. It's not
right.
It's not.
I will
from,
say I agree.
Want to be Eminem MGK. It's
that being said, I think that played a part in why Eminem responded to MGK, because people compared MGK to Eminem, and there was history with MGK. It wasn't just that diss track that caused Eminem to spaz on him. There was history there. MGK trying to call Haley fine when she was only 16 on that picture on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it was. There was a lot of history there. And MGK came at him personally too, talking about, talking about Trick and talking about Diddy and like acting like Eminem wasn't the badass, and like there was personal shit in MGK's diss too. Not as good as in games, I'll give you that. I agree with that. But there was a long-standing personal issue with MGK that I think influenced Eminem in just kind of bullying this kid and making people understand he is not on my level.
Right.
That I don't think is there with Game. I'm not saying that there won't be a response. I'm not saying that there
I hope there's a response. I hope
I'm
there
not saying
is.
there shouldn't be. I'm saying what I'm asking. I guess. Does the track warrant one? Sure, it warrants one. Does it need one?
Especially the Haley part.
I guess that's more so what I meant. Does it warrant one? Absolutely. Like, could there be a rebuttal? For sure. Does it need one? Does it lessen Eminem if he doesn't respond?
No, it doesn't.
I don't think it does.
I mean, if there's a reason he doesn't respond, I think it's going to have to deal with the fact that the game ain't where he used to be.
Not anymore.
So, I'm just looking at, like, first week sales, and the numbers could be a bit wrong. I'm looking on fucking Wikipedia. But the last album I remember him coming out with, personally,
right,
was the Red Album.
Okay.
Album was fire. Shit went hard. First week sales. Or is this total sales? Might be total sales. So total sales for the Red Album. Um, 39, no, 390,000
Okay.
from what it's showing here. I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah.
But I will say he came out with an album last year. First week sold little less than 5,000 copies. He just now came out with an album. I'm thinking, and I'm just seeing like numbers just drop as the years go on with his albums. I'm thinking the game's in a slump.
He needs a pick me up, and he's trying to pick a fight.
And this is huge exposure.
I mean, this is huge exposure until it backfires.
Until it backfires, but maybe you know,
Maybe
we look at
maybe
it
he's
in the
banking
idea
on
of
M
like,
not wasting
hey,
his time.
Yeah, and if M doesn't waste his time,
then this is a dub.
think about all the people that are going to be clicking on just this video.
Yeah.
And on the so on this song, it is linked to his latest album, which his latest album does not have this song.
That feels real clickbaity.
It is like because if you look it up on like the game, like it's on his YouTube channel, right? And it has the background picture of his latest album. But if you pull up his latest album, it does not have the Black Slim Shady as a track on the album.
So
Well,
he's
very
kind of used
clickbaity.
promotional.
He's using this to try and get exposure, yeah. And if M doesn't respond, it works. It works big time. But if M, this is a big risk. Because if M does respond, you got to imagine the game knows, like, if M responds, it's over. But maybe he's looking at, like, it's been slowly getting towards over anyway.
Yeah, I mean, judging by like, and I mean, these are just titles, but I'm looking at like a lot of these thumbnails for people reacting to this. Mm-hmm. People are not receiving this track very well.
I mean, like I said,
but
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it was all that, but I thought it was fine.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be good. If
it
doesn't respond to it doesn't have.
Yeah, it just gets exposure.
Gets the attention. Yep.
I mean, that's what happened with Nick Cannon. Think about how many people were talking about Nick Cannon. The next season, A While In and Out, after all that bullshit, was its biggest season.
I heard that too, actually.
Because everyone was hoping Eminem would show up.
Yeah. No. Not worth Eminem's time.
No.
But, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a ballsy play. And for the game's sake, he better hope Eminem doesn't respond. Because I think he said enough that if Eminem responds, it's probably going to be over. It's going to be game over.
Hello?
That's what the name of the track should be if he responds.
Okay.
Right?
I get so.
If Eminem responds, the name of the track is game over.
So I haven't looked into any of this for validity, but I'm just looking at fucking titles. The game trolls Eminem by creeping on his daughter's Instagram pics.
Oh my god. Ugh.
Ew.
Does he want M to respond? Like, does he want the fucking smoke?
I can't imagine.
He wants the attention.
Like, you don't want full wrath Eminem.
No.
You don't want that.
No.
Shit. Eminem played around and Killshot was mean.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. It was hurtful.
That was just him messing around. Like, you could hear it.
Well, I guess.
He didn't take it seriously at all.
All we can say is we'll see what happens.
That's true.
And maybe by next episode, we'll have heard a response. I mean, when did he drop Black Slim Shady? It was at least a couple days ago, right?
I think it was 2 days ago. August 11th.
All right, it's 2 days ago. So, realistically, on Eminem's timetable, we probably hear a response by the next episode. If not, at the latest, the episode after that. So, I mean, I guess we'll keep y'all posted. The track's fine if you want to go listen to it. But he don't want this smoke.
It's not like Nick Cannon's track.
No.
I would recommend not listening to it.
No. But, I got nothing else. Salo, you got anything else?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Brett, you got anything else? Other than the fact that Salo's wearing his headphones on his eye?
I thought I heard something, so I took it off because I'm like paranoid because I'm in the house alone right now, and I'm just like, did I just hear somebody
It's
out
us.
my window? Yeah.
Oh man, I
Stop.
It's us.
I thought you were gonna do like, hey, I thought I heard something, so I was like, let me just take a look to see.
Look, yeah, I can see it all.
Take a look, see.
Just a look, see.
Hey, you know what? Real talk. Before we end, I will say that is a valid method because whenever I'm driving and I'm trying to look for a sign, I 100% turn the volume down.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Because if the music's too loud, it affects my ability to see signs.
Or if it's raining really, really badly, I turn the music a little bit down so I can focus.
Like, I don't know. Music makes it harder to read. I don't know. But anyway, you got anything else, Brett?
Nah, take us out.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful adventure of episode 15. We will be back in 2 more weeks for episode 16, where we will bring you more news, more information, more shenanigans, and we hope you take that trip with us. As always, we are Beyond Us. I am Daniel. Brett and Salo are here as well. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time. See ya.
See ya.
Deuce.